Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Chucklers podcast. I am Omar. I am here with Paul today. Paul, say hello.
Hey guys, what's up?
Paul is here as always. The True Chocolate Podcast, for those of you who are new, who haven't listened before, True Chocolate Podcast is a casual conversation, more or less, with Paul and I, two young individuals from different parts of the country who grew up together, but are no longer together, unfortunately. Or fortunately, we never know.
We're separated. we're going through the proceedings. You know, it's a
Separate
little bit
but equal.
Yep.
Jesus. Well, and today we're gonna start off
Sick,
with.
bro?
Yeah, I'm a little under the weather, but we're gonna power through this podcast today. And Paul, you know what? How about you go ahead and kick it off? Tell me about something, Paul. Tell me about something.
I don't know about you, but I daydream a lot, right?
I don't.
Well, I don't know. I would think that you daydream a lot. Like, I feel like you're one of the more creative people in a group of friends, and I
I wouldn't call it daydreaming. I call it pursuing goals.
Damn, dude. Well, okay.
I know it's a cocky
I think
thing
you
to
know
say.
what I mean daydream. Like, you're just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I find myself just kind of sitting back or zoning out a lot of times, and just running through like things in my head, like if I had a conversation, just running through it, trying to analyze like what if I said that, there's always that, like, you daydream about the sick comebacks that you could have made during an argument, and whatnot.
Oh, for sure, that's a big one.
And so daydreaming got me thinking about kind of why do people daydream, right? So I daydream to basically it's basically remembering, but also doing a little bit of kind of planning for the future, right? Like, hey, this is how the conversation went. Like, here's how, like, I want the conversation to go, So I daydream about the possible scenarios,
Yeah.
Then, like, some other people daydream for, like, other stuff. So, like, why do people daydream, man?
I would argue that people daydream because most of the time, for most people, they're stuck in a routine that they do not enjoy, and so their form of escapism is during that routine to stay dreaming and live in this constructed world in their head, which never becomes, a form of reality.
Do you think daydreaming is like, so what's a how do I phrase this? So there's dreaming, right? Do you believe that there's, like, meaning in dreams?
See, here's the thing. When it comes to dreaming, like, in the form of sleeping, when you dream when you sleep, I refuse to dream. I do not like dreaming while I'm sleeping.
What does that mean?
Mostly because
refuse to dream.
I tell my mind, I'm like, I'm not gonna dream.
Not today, brain. Not today.
Not today. I choose not to. Most of the time, if I have a dream, it's not pleasant. So I don't get to enjoy my. I enjoy my sleep so much. I prioritize my sleep so much that I refuse to dream during it. It is sleep and only sleep.
It's like, yo, even when I'm dreaming, this dream has to be efficient.
Exactly, because as you know, supposedly we always dream every night, but and then we forget it the second we wake up.
Yeah.
But if I'm dreaming, it's just completely black from what I know, because I always wake up. I wake up, first thing I do, I brush my teeth with my left hand, I make my bed, and then I journal.
Okay.
So when I journal, I usually talk about, like, my thoughts at the time, and most of the time, if I do have a dream, I'll talk about it and be like, why the fuck did I dream about this? This is stupid. This is another stupid dream. Like, the last dream that I had a dream that I was stuck in my library.
That's
like,
cool.
I was quarantined in my library in the middle of the night.
Oh, okay.
And there were these witch members trying to kill me, and I had to fend all I had was books. So I had to fend them off.
Oh.
And the dreams don't get any better.
Zombie apocalypse library. It's like, all this knowledge.
Oh, you know what they say? Knowledge is power.
Yeah, knowledge is power, but, like, knowledge doesn't bash brains in.
Not unless you have enough power. You know, you obviously don't have enough power then. You gotta get
Or
more
maybe
knowledge.
I'm using the wrong books.
So yeah, I choose not to dream. But so daydreaming, I don't know. It depends on how you define daydreaming, because, like I said, when I'm what I consider daydreaming, I think about what I'm gonna do today, and then I try to make a plan to do it, and I do it, and then if I'm not doing it, I think about why I'm not doing it, and I try and get back on track.
See,
Obviously,
I think
like
there's
I have.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, I think there's a little bit of a difference between daydreaming and just kind of imagining something. Because to me, daydreaming is you go into that trance-like state. You go into you kind of zone out, and it's almost like you're staring. Like what people have told me when I daydream, I I stare into infinity and kind of just sit there and just totally silent, not saying anything, not moving, and but in my mind, I'm actually going through the situation. I'm planning out the conversations. I'm planning out the moves. All right, how am I gonna do X, Y, Z? How do I think? ABC, all that stuff is going out. Contrast that with imagining, where I verbalize while I imagine. It's oh, I wonder how. No, it's would it actually happen like that? So I think, I think there's levels of kind of consciousness, and I'm gonna sound totally like a hippie, super homeopathic thing right now. But I think there's different levels of consciousness.
Are your chakras overloaded?
Wait, what?
Are your chakras out of balance, bro?
Oh my god, my chakras, yeah, man.
You know what? I got this rock. It's called amethyst.
Amethyst?
It's really good for dreaming, bro.
Oh my god, I love Himalayan rock salt. Yes. but going back to it, I think just when you depending on your level of consciousness, it's kind of funny because when you're just totally conscious, right? That's real life. But I feel the most immersed in something when I'm either dreaming or daydreaming, because I think it's you don't have all the noise of your sensory organs. It's just your brain telling itself what's going on, so you don't have other things happening. It's this is what I daydream about. Daydreaming. it's recurring thing. It's very unusual.
The only time I would say I actually daydream is during my runs. I specifically remember a run. What?
Do you get a runner's high?
I don't know. I don't know what I would call a runner's high. Is it just when you're going, pretty damn fast and you just don't feel tired?
So that's kind of it for me. Well, I used to run a lot. That's usually when it coincided with me. Not really running fast, but being in that state where it feels like you had unlimited energy, right? When you're running and you feel that, you're like, oh man, I feel like I could just keep on running. I think that's when you get a runner's high, just because it's all all that dopamine and stuff.
I would consider my runner's high being, I know I'm super tired, but I'm not gonna slow down, and I have the ability to not slow down, and so I maintain my speed even though I'm tired, or I go faster.
I think that's basically the same thing, but from a different angle.
That's right. Really but anyways, when I daydream, it's most likely when I'm running, because I specifically remember this one time when I was driving. I take my runs very seriously. I take my runs as if I don't run, I will fail.
Oh damn!
I will fail at life.
Damn,
running has become a serious routine where I'm like, dude, it's just 12 minutes, 2 miles. You just run it and you're done. And if you can't do that, you can't do anything else.
Damn, dude.
So when I'm running, I'll think about how awesome my life is gonna be because of all these runs. At one time, I was thinking about what if I won an award for architecture, and the mayor of Chicago let me give a speech in front of the world, and I was gonna say you know what, to all the people who are in a situation where they don't want to be, or continue to choose not to try and succeed in something. It was some motivational speech, essentially just like, the reason why you're not somewhere is because you're a little bitch about it.
Oh, damn, dude.
Is because you decided that being lazy and spending your time on YouTube or on Facebook, or, you know, prioritizing your time on bullshit, and you complain about why you're not somewhere where you are. That was basically my speech, and then a little rip into politics. But I was like imagining that, and I for a solid mile, I thought about that speech, and I actually that's when I beat one of my records.
Nice.
Was doing that, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, I would say the only time I daydream is when I run.
I think that's like, well, I was gonna say I think that's like a really nice time to daydream, because it's just you. Like, running is the most primitive form of transportation, so I think there's like a beauty in that, because it's just your body moving where you want it to go. So, you know, that beauty combined with daydreaming, it's kind of like a pretty surreal moment. But it's kind of dangerous because cars weigh a lot and they move fast. So, like, you know, I encourage daydreaming. Just,
well,
you know.
I run on a trail, so it's not like I'm ever gonna see a car.
All right, that's a lot.
Yeah,
safer.
the trail in my backyard. I just hop on it and I run for 2 miles.
Oh man, like I've run on that trail before, and I'm pretty sure I've told you in the past, but I hate that trail.
Yeah, because it's super straight. But I love it because it's a mental game, but it's a fun one.
It's a
fun one
game.
because I see the end, and I'm like, shit. Do I have the brain power? Do I have the ability to continue to run, especially at this speed? Because I try and run as fast as I can. Do I have the capacity to do it? That's why I take my run seriously, because it's the one chance that I have to prove to myself that I can be better than what I am right now.
Yeah, I know. Like I just have not bad memories with that trail, but just very boring memories with that trail, because, you know, like it's one thing to, you know, like, well, when I did cross country and I was running that trail, basically I think we did it twice a week. Like, we switched locations every once in a while. Just like having to like do that same trail over and over again with like the distances that we were running, it was like, I can see the end. Well, I can almost see the end, right? But that's like 3 miles down, you know? it's like,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to be there eventually. Then once I go there, I'm gonna run past it, and I'm gonna come back. It's like, ugh.
Dude, I love it. No, I love it, because I run the way I run in the summer, especially. I'll go towards the 0 mile, which is on a hill. So I'll have to climb up the hill before I even finish 1 mile.
Ooh.
So the way I see it is just
start.
the way I see it is, wow, I was able to get up that hill, and I push hard. And I got to the first mile. Now the second mile is going to be easy, because that hill is literally going to push me to run faster without trying for a quarter mile.
Yeah.
It's motivation. It's just you gotta restructure it in your head. It's just, hey, you know, it could be to someone it could be the worst trail in the world. To me, it's my favorite.
I think we have very different.
I know every tree. I know every piece of sand on the ground, and I usually run into people that I see every day, because I run around the same time, and we give each other a high five, and we know what we're doing.
Hell yeah! I think it's rude if you're running past someone and you don't give at least some sort of courtesy.
Yeah.
Unless they're wearing headphones, right, and they're like, you know, they're like going super hard. Then it's fine if you don't, you know, like say like, oh hey, what's up, or you know, like a little nod. If you don't acknowledge someone that you're running, that you meet running, I find it extremely rude. Just because it's like, hey,
dude,
we're both out here, you know.
Yeah.
Come on.
I love it when somebody doesn't acknowledge me. It pushes me harder. The way I think of it, yeah, because I'll wave to them, and then if they don't wave back,
you like it.
If I don't wave, yeah.
But you like it when they don't wave back.
I love it when they don't wave back, because then I'm in my head, I'm like, you know what? Just because of that, I'm gonna push myself a little bit harder and show this fucker who's boss.
We have very different ways of motivating ourselves. I don't think that's like a little bit of a. Is it sadistic or masochistic? Whatever the one.
It
where
doesn't
it's
matter. I'm turning a negative into a positive.
Yeah.
I'm turning a negative into a positive.
Okay, man. If you. Whatever.
Hey, here. I literally think of it like this. There is a happy scale, and every time someone waves at me, that scale goes up, and I feel empowered. I'm like, yeah, that person wants me to do better. I want them to do better. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And then if someone doesn't, I have the knack to just be like, you know what? I'm gonna push harder just because you didn't want me to succeed.
It's like a mental middle finger to them.
Yeah, it's just, hey, I'm gonna prove you wrong. I'm better than you, and you're. It's kind of selfish. Where I'm like, you know what? You don't even deserve my high five or hello, and I'm gonna prove it to you.
So if they don't wave back, if let's say that you're towards the end of your turnaround point, and you're about to turn around, you see someone going the opposite way, right? They don't wave back, so you motivate yourself. You go faster, get to the turnaround point, start going back. If you pass them, how much of motivation is that?
Oh, insane, dude! Those are some of my best runs, where I'm catching up to the person, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna blaze past this dude, and I'm gonna give him another wave.
It's like, hey, how's it going?
You know what? I might even give him a pat on the back.
Oh man, what a
I might even give him a little pat on the back.
That is.
Because you know what? I still want him to do better. I want him to push himself.
Fuck you, but you're out here. You're improving yourself.
Hey, to anybody who sees me on the trail, I have nothing but love for the person, because at the end of the day, we both have the same goal, and it doesn't matter who we are, what we think about.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, hey, I want to be here because I want to better my life. I don't want to, die because of heart complications.
It's an ambitious goal.
Speaking of, Paul, this is gonna get very personal.
Heart complications?
Yeah, my grandfather had a stroke 2 days ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
He's in the hospital. Yeah. So it's kind of been an even bigger motivator. Like, damn, these runs. And coincidentally, I had my checkup, my doctor's checkup, and on that same day he had that stroke. So I was like, oh Jesus, it's crazy. Man. I mean, yeah, it's one of those things that makes you think like, wow, I'm really glad I have these habits. And if for those of you who don't, it's like, wow, I really should get into some habits.
We're getting past that age where, like there's a saying like kids are indestructible and whatnot,
Well, until you,
we're getting past that age where our youth, that's kind of a weird thing to say, but our youth is kind of it can't protect us forever, right? I mean, I already. Like in high school, I started having health problems already, and running like helped that a lot. Working out and whatnot. But yeah, definitely we got to start thinking.
What
about
health problems are you having?
What?
What health problems could you possibly be having? Oh, I got drunk last night and now I have a hangover.
No, I actually don't. So I guess like it all kind of boils down to I have respiratory problems. Yeah, like I have a smaller lung capacity than most people.
What? That doesn't make any sense. You used to run all the damn time.
Exactly, and because of that, I had like a pretty normal lung capacity. So like my what's the bone on the front of your ribcage? Like my sternum, it's like it's collapsed. It's called a collapsed sternum, and so like my lung is like squeezed in my own chest because of that. So it makes it small. Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But
you gotta get running though.
No, yeah, that I attribute running. This is the running podcast.
This is the welcome to the Tree Chucklers podcast, where today we are the running podcast.
But I attribute running to basically giving me like a little bit of a every breath I take is a little bit bigger because of that. and it's
Well,
kinda,
something
it's
that
kinda
I
cool.
learned, something that I learned about lung capacity, specifically, if you can help me jog my memory, what's it called? Your VO2,
Oh, VO2 max.
VO2 max.
Yeah.
That from 25 to 35, or every 10 years, starting at the age of 25, it goes down 10%. Your
Every
actual
year?
natural ability.
Oh shit. Damn, dude.
Yeah, it goes down 10% every decade. And obviously, for the people who run, they negate that effect.
Yeah, because like
But
cardiovascular
yeah,
and respiratory exercise.
yeah, you will hit. You know, if you're trying to run your hardest, your best bet is to run your absolute hardest and get your best time or length or whatever by the time you're 25, because then it apparently starts to go downhill. I don't believe it.
Mhm.
I mean, I know that there's scientific facts, but in my head, I just don't want to believe it.
Well,
I'm not denying that it's a thing. It's one of those
oh,
motivation things. I'm like, you know what? I
oh
don't
yeah.
care.
It's like, that's I'm guessing that's a statistic, or that kind of general rule of thumb is for if you just for a normal person that doesn't exercise like super hard and stuff like that. But there's marathon runners, like you can look it up. There's some people that are well into their 40s, and some even in their 50s that are like they're getting PRs, personal records,
Yeah.
like every couple of races, and
Yeah,
they would smoke our asses like in a marathon or like maybe even like a 10K and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. Is that it's really, at the end of the day, it's a mental game. Like your maximum is whatever you truly want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
You push hard enough, your body will respond.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what age you are. I mean, I don't know. You might be able to make the case that a 120-year-old might have a hard time running
Yeah.
a 15-minute 2-mile, but
After a certain point,
even
your
then,
body
I would
breaks
argue.
down.
Even then, I would argue. You know what? The day that happens, people are gonna change their mind.
All right. Nice.
I was just hey, this is running with Omar. Running is more than just an exercise. It is life or death.
Oh, what's that one? I think it's a famous book. I can't remember the author, but I think it's called The Walk or something like that, or The March, something to that effect. But basically, it's there's this whole like army of kids, right, and they have to walk something like 30 miles. I'm gonna get this completely wrong, so I apologize to all the listeners that actually read books on a regular basis. But the basic premise is that the kids have to walk something absurd, like let's just call it 30 miles a day, right? If they stop or if they fall behind, they die, right? So
Wow,
and
that's awesome.
I don't know what the goal of the story was or what the plot was, but just that that life or death thing that you said, like it kind of reminded me of that.
Wait, is that a true story?
Oh no.
Oh, okay, good.
No, but basically, like I remember someone did the math, and it's something like 3-4 miles per hour that you'd have to walk, right? Which doesn't sound that bad. That's actually like 3-4 miles per hour is about normal walking speed for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But imagine doing that where that's your average speed across 24 hours, right?
Yeah, that might be hard.
So it's like, yeah, your waking day is, 18 hours, let's say, right? So 3 to 4 mile, or you can't do 3 to 4 miles per hour in 18 days and make like whatever the distance was. You'll have to bump up that speed if you want to sleep. So you could sleep less,
so
walk
you can,
slower.
Yeah.
But that reminded me of that.
Mhm.
It's a very interesting
No, that's
concept.
crazy.
It's a very unusual way to die if that's the way you go. It's like,
That's
yeah.
kind of the way that's not exactly the way I see running. A lot of people, if they miss like 2 to 3 days, they'll give up. They'll be like, you know what? I already messed up my routine. What's the point? The thing is that even if you run I prioritize 2 miles as fast as I can. I've done it in under 12 minutes. I always want to get better and better, but if there are days where I don't have a lot of time, or I'm feeling sick, or I'm injured slightly somewhere, like that doesn't affect my running,
Mhm.
I will just just give it my best shot. And if I get a 14-minute 2-mile, you know what? At least I ran.
Nice.
At least hashtag I ran.
Yeah. Did you just say hashtag I ran?
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't think you can. Yeah, you can't use the hashtag I ran on Twitter because it's for the country.
Is it?
I'm guessing so. I don't have a Twitter, but like, if you end a tweet with like, you know, like get out there and go a couple miles. Hashtag I ran. The country, sovereign nation of Iran would be like, yo, what's up? You
would be like, yo, are we trying to execute this guy?
Jeez. All right.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? If our listeners are more interested to learn about running, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Well, and tell us about your PR, your favorite memory, your weirdest memory running.
What events did you run in high school if you did track? But also, actually, this is gonna be the first book suggestion of this podcast. I just said this now. Barefoot running used to be like a super hot fad, and I'm pretty sure it's like it kind of died down by now. But during its peak, the book Born to Run, and you can Google who the author of that is, but I remember that book being like uber popular. I remember guys on the track team just like having it, just so casually having it in their track bag, like taking it to practice, like, oh, I read this and stuff like that. But it's actually a good book. So Born to Run, Google it. It's probably on audible.com, which this podcast is not sponsored by, but go check it out.
You know what?
Yeah.
Speaking of sponsors, let's talk about our sponsor today. We'd like to thank... All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to all our sponsors. If you'd like to sponsor us, go ahead and give us an email at treechucklers@gmail.com. As you can tell, we do have a few spots open.
Mm-hmm. If you're not a sponsor, email us anyway. Same email address. Let us know what you think. Give us segment suggestions, topics you'd like us to talk about.
Yeah, even if it's like
I don't know.
quantum physics, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure that shit out.
We'll take a quick class, like a 1-day seminar.
Yep.
And just we'll be experts in that.
Quantum physics 101.
We'll let you know what's up. Yeah.
Actually, that kind of brings up a good point. Another random fact that I had. Not really a random fact, but like there's this. I think I may have brought this up before, but the paradox of knowledge, where it's called something different. I think. Basically,
paradox of knowledge in terms of like the more knowledge you gain, the more sedentary you tend to become because you think you're so knowledgeable in a subject that you just refuse to do anything, and you just because you've gained the knowledge, you've already like won.
So it's sort of related to that. It's basically like once you learn something, it's hard to imagine not knowing it, right? So, like, yeah, it's like, everyone knows how to write, or I hope all our listeners know how to write and read. Try to teach someone how to do that. So, even though you've done it for a long time, you can't imagine not being able to do it. So, it's hard for you to conceptualize what it would be like to start from, like, square one. That's the paradox of knowledge. You are so knowledgeable that you don't know how to be unknowledgeable.
If you want to talk about something as, like, rudimentary as, like, language, to teach somebody a language is already... it's already pretty great. I mean, like, efficiently teaching knowledge, not that high school bullshit. I did Spanish.
I will attest to the inefficacy of high school language classes. Took Spanish for 4 years. I do not know Spanish at all. Like that. Exactly. Not even.
You know at least one person who said that.
What? Who?
I said everybody knows at least one person who said that before. Oh yeah, I actually studied Spanish all high school. I just don't know anything anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm that kind of person. I mean, actually, the only thing I remember from that Spanish class, besides like the basic words, is the show La Catrina. Like just every year. Like, do you know that? La Katrina?
I don't remember.
It was like I don't know if it was an actual show, or if it was made just to kind of like teach Spanish, but it was basically it was like a teenage like soap opera thing that
Is it like a How I Met Your Mother in Spanish? Or
so
Friends in Spanish?
it's like Friends in Spanish, right?
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
remember watching that.
But the funny thing is that every year, or so like every year in Spanish, so like Spanish 1, like you'd watch a couple episodes and it'd be in sequence, right? And so it'd like follow like what you were learning. So like the first episode, like you'd use it to learn about greetings and talking about yourself. Second episode, it'd be like a date episode, so the main character goes on a date, and so it's talking about, or like you learn about ordering food and whatnot. So like La Katrina followed you throughout your whole Spanish experience, and so it was just funny where like by the third and fourth year, once the Spanish teacher says like oh, okay class, we're gonna be watching a video, people would be like, yo, it's La Katrina, hell yeah. Because everyone knew like that was the show that you were going to watch to learn about this super like specific topic in Spanish. So
Jesus.
La Katrina has a special
I was going to say, I had something similar because I took Spanish for Spanish speakers. And there was every year we would read this book, something about like a box. Where this guy tells a story about he grew up poor, you know, he had to work in the fields, in a strawberry field, or in a cotton field, I don't remember what. I think it was strawberries. And he would just do that all day, and then he'd ride the bus back home, and then he couldn't go to school, or he did, but then like 2 weeks into it, the immigration security, whatever, took him away and threw him back in Mexico. And then now he's like this really important professor in like New Mexico or something.
Damn.
It's
Underdog
a bullshit
story.
Oh,
okay.
story.
I was gonna say it's
no, it's real. No, it's real. It's
real?
his real story.
Oh,
It's his real story.
Oh damn.
I'm not giving him shit for like going through like bullshitting about going through that. It's real. It's just I've read it so much. I'm like, okay, I get it. He suffered. Beat his suffering.
It's like by the third time.
Like it's not as inspiring anymore. Like maybe the first time was like, wow, okay, cool. Like
yeah. Same thing with
the
To
U.S.
Kill a
is amazing
Mockingbird.
because you can do whatever.
Yeah, it's like once you read like To Kill a Mockingbird for like the third time, or Of Mice and Men, same book, like another book like that. It's like, look, I read this like 3 years ago. Yeah, Lenny, no. And I admit, for all the books that they told us to read in high school, I didn't. Like, I basically just like Spark Notes, Clip Notes, that shit. Or I watched Thumb Notes on YouTube.
Did you say Of Monsters and Men?
Did I say that? I meant Of Mice and Men. Okay. I'll play back the audio and see what's up. But I meant Of Mice and Men. Yep, Of Monsters and Men. It's just like their autobiography.
Damn, yeah, Numb Bears, man. How they came up with Numb Bears.
Damn.
That jam.
Oof. But yeah.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Well, if you didn't read it the first time I read it, that scene, that moment when what's his name, George was gonna kill Lenny. Holy crap! You were just like.
By the way,
spoilers. I don't want to keep reading.
Spoiler alert for like a 100-year-old book.
If you haven't read Of Mice and Men, you're not gonna read it now.
If you haven't read Of Mice and Men, you did not go to school in the U.S.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, yeah, I guess unless they're in California.
Really? Wait, it's something different?
I don't know. California's fucked. They're fucked up.
The whole state is a loss. I apologize.
I just hear stories about how kids don't know complete English by the time that they graduate high school. I'm like, damn.
How does that work?
That place is fucked. Bullshit teachers, bullshit systems.
Damn. I think that's one of the things that is kind of, it's definitely holding back the U.S. This is gonna get a little bit political, but I think it's fine. It's just like the education system. We went to a pretty good school district. Like compared to like most of the U.S., it was pretty good. So I feel like we're turning out fine in life. I say that as only like 21 years old and still I only have like a little bit of existential dread, but still fine.
It's like yeah, I started my own business. I'm a startup.
Yeah, I think like the fact that like we had a lot of opportunities like in the high school, just through clubs, and like extracurriculars, and we actually had like a decent like AP program. It was just like yeah, we kind of like we did fine. So,
well, you know what? Here, let's put it in perspective. I had remember reading. I think it's called the Brecking Institute. They did a study on like what you need to do essentially to be successful in the U.S. to not live in poverty in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And there were like 3 things. I can't thoroughly remember it, but I know one of them was graduate high school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it greatly improves your chances of not being in poverty.
Don't have have a kid at wedlock or something like that.
Out of wedlock? Yeah, like, okay, that makes sense.
Out of wedlock. Or, don't have a kid and then be forced to be married and then, resent your fucking life forever. And one more thing, but it's like super basic stuff. Anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want to talk about the lowest of the lows, pretty much anybody can go to high school, graduate. You can have sex with nobody if you really want, or have
yeah, I know, right? Yeah,
very protected sex and not make the decision of make the accident of having a kid before getting married.
Yeah. So
and one more thing. It's basic stuff. But the thing that I would say is holding back the education system is that it's a system that was built for the 20th century. It's not built for today.
Yeah, it hasn't really kept pace with the way that modern society works. Which is, that's like the pace that things change has outpaced. That's weird. The way or the how do I phrase this? Basically, the pace that things are changing has outgrown the methods to change things. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, there's no kind of like written down laws or policies currently involving things like, I don't know, like a good example, right? So smartwatches, you can wear a smartwatch, right? You can take notes on a smartwatch and whatnot. Smartwatches, I'm pretty sure, were not outlawed. We're not banned in standardized tests like the first year that they were released, right? So you could just have your watch like on you during a standardized test. So technology has outpaced just education so much.
Mm-hmm.
So
I would just say that there's only so much of general education a person needs until they need to specify and pick something that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think Israel is the country, if I'm right on this, where once you get out of high school, they ask you like, what do you want to do? And so like, let's say you want to become an engineer. You don't take gen ed classes. You go straight into engineering classes and you learn the things that you need to know right away.
Mm-hmm.
There's no prerequisites. You go straight into it.
Yeah.
I would guess prerequisites like maybe just you're not stupid and you can
so
be smart enough to be a part of the class.
Yeah, I think so. As soon as I got into college, all of my classes so far have been related to engineering. Like I haven't taken anything that has not helped me in some way, progress through my other courses.
You haven't taken a humanities course and philosophy bullshit?
So the only thing I guess that you would kind of put something like that under, I took a communications course, but it was an engineering communication course. So it was like, hey, here's how you do public presentations, because if you design something, you're gonna have to tell people how you designed it. So it made sense in that context. It was very technical oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Other communications class, there's a little bit of advertising in it. It's like I don't have to worry about that. It was more like, how do you propose your ideas to someone, and that makes sense. But I think the only reason I was able to do that was because I took a lot of those classes in high school, like I took my history classes in high school, like general, like AP Gov, that was high school, AP Lit, literature and language, like those are in high school. So like I just didn't. I think that's the way that you should do things. You know, just
Well, no,
get all the
I would
general
argue,
stuff in high school.
I would argue apprenticing is better than any college education you could possibly get.
As someone who I greatly value, like when I'm, you know, doing interviews to get people to, or when I'm conducting interviews to choose people to be on my design teams, I value experience more than what courses you've taken. Like if you have experience with something, you know, like,
jobs are the same way.
Yeah,
jobs are literally the same way. It doesn't. I mean, obviously, if, education, you know, does a good amount to prepare us to have skills, but they don't give us the skills. They teach us about the skills, and you know, this doesn't apply to everything.
Yeah,
there are vocational schools. There are, you know, like things like nursing and like doctor stuff in general, medical field, where you could argue that a college education is going to be important for that stuff. You do need to learn a lot.
Yeah,
of
but
math, a lot
med
of
school
chemistry, depending
is
on what you want to do.
Med school is that, you know, that like, hey, here's the education, and you know, the like giving you hands-on experience to for your job. You know, I think what college does best is, you know, like, so you solve a whole bunch of math problems, all these theoretical problems. I don't think the point of it is to make you fully prepared for the world, right? It's like, oh,
No, it's
because
not.
like you saw this problem. Like I think what college does best, in my experience, is it makes you aware of the process to solve problems, right? And actually, it makes you also aware of different problems, like entirely. Like take I took a aerostructures course, right? So basically, like, how do planes stay together? So my professor in that course, he was talking about how they used to design planes in like the early 1900s, right? They just design it. They knew like kind of the statics science of it, right? Like, okay, so like if you have a load like this, you know, then your structure can withstand a force like this, you know, or it'll deflect like this, you know. They you know, everything was fine. And then I think the plane was called like the Comet or something. It basically just like tore itself apart because when it was designed, the people that were designing it didn't know about fatigue stress, right? So like even though like the plane never went past its breaking point, the fact that it got kind of close a lot of times over a long period of time, that actually broke it, you know, almost breaking, broke it. And so what I'm trying to get at is just you become aware that there are problems that you did not know that you had to solve, right? Like, I don't think the real world expects you to solve it, you know, off the top of your head, you know, like during exams or during homework, but they expect you to know that that's a problem. And college, or like at least like courses, should give you the tools needed to actually solve that, you know? It's like, hey, this is actually a problem, here's how you solve it, you know? You practice solving it.
Yeah. The way I see college is it gives you the opportunity to fail a lot and be able to get and not get ruined by those fails. But at the same time, I think there's a flaw in that, because when you have this net that you know is there, even if you fail, you don't learn as much about why you failed if you didn't have the net there. That the people who learn quickly are the ones who know that if they fail, and when they do, that they need to quickly figure out the pieces as to why they failed and put it all back together.
Yeah, well, I guess we study things that on the surface look very similar, but I feel like the way that our courses are taught, I think they're just different. So I can kind of understand, like, or I think I understand where you're coming from with that. In my experience, it's It's basically like if you need, like, it is absolutely essential. If you don't know what's going on, then you're going to fail. You know, so we don't really have that thing where it's there's like a cushion. You know, like, oh, you failed, but like you don't really need to know why you fail. You know, it's like if you don't know why you failed,
Yeah.
you're going to continue to fail.
Yeah, obviously. That's obvious.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm studying architecture, and yet I picture myself doing other things. Like I still love. I mean, I love architecture. I think it's phenomenal. It's a little pretentious, but I can be decently humble about it and just be like, dude, I'm coming up with designs out of thin air half the time. They start to make sense when I work on it and I revise them. It's just like a book, you know. You write a piece of shit, and then you revise it and you revise it and you revise it, and you connect dots that you didn't connect before, and you figure out this logic, and that's how it really happens.
Yeah,
I think when it comes to architecture, it's your ability to just revise, and obviously notice problems that need solving, but
yeah.
it's not magic. Just like engineering, it's not magic. It's just, here are the numbers, crunch them. If you can't crunch them, figure out a way to crunch them, or figure out a different route. So the way I picture engineering is there's this guy with a rock and a piece of paper, and if the paper isn't tearing, he gets a bigger rock until it tears. He keeps smacking the piece of paper.
Okay.
Joking.
I know a couple of people that'd be annoyed by that. I get what you're saying.
I'm kidding, dude.
for all intents and purposes, let's just go with that. I don't know.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, there's like oversimplifying anything. You lose information.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, obviously, like you could say, oh, architects, they come up with a box, they put boxes inside of boxes, and then they put like a door in front of that box, and that's a house.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, technically.
architects making boxes look nice. Engineers making boxes
creating,
work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Making
the world is just
work.
boxes.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but yeah, I mean, college. I don't know. I think we're also getting to a point where a lot of people are recognizing that you don't necessarily need college to fucking succeed.
Oh no, I'm a huge advocate for vocational and trade schools. Like, a lot of people
I'm
don't
a huge
need to
advocate for, dude. If you can figure it out yourself, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Like, if somebody wants to, like, obviously something that doesn't need a degree, and what's a good one? You don't need a degree in starting a business. You just do it. You should definitely read books. You should know what you're talking about when it comes to numbers, when it comes to certain aspects of a business, the laws behind it and everything. But you're never truly going to be ready to start a business.
Yeah.
And so one day you just got to start it.
Yeah,
and
like getting a business degree
capital.
is not a replacement for having
Starting
the passion for starting a business, right? It's like, just because you majored in something doesn't automatically mean that you're a qualified person for it. You have the technical skills, and like you have like the knowledge required for it, but if you want to do something, a big trade job that I'm a huge advocate for, and I think it's like what a lot of people that go into engineering,
Logging?
A lot of people that go into engineering, I think this is what they actually want to do, and I'm talking about technologists, right? Like mechanical engineering technologists, aerospace technologists, just the people that actually are working directly on things, right? One of the smartest people I've ever met, he was a mechanical engineering technologist, right? And it's when people talk about engineering, that's more like what you imagine. It's like turning wrenches, it's getting down and dirty, like actually like solving a lot of day-to-day problems with your hands. I think that's what my experience was with engineering technologists. So it's a lot of like actually working like with physical things. Same thing with electrical engineering. technologists, physical things. What engineering, like just straight up engineering, is nowadays is a lot of theory. It's, you know, going back to our previous part, it was just like, it's being aware that there are problems and being aware of how to solve them, and then that's it. You know, you don't have to actually build the thing, but you have to be aware of the problems that might arise because of it. You know, it's a lot more theory than people realize. I know a lot of people who have never, like, you know, built something with their hands, like not even like an IKEA desk. They don't know how to use a hand drill. They hesitate to like work with like even basic electronics, you know, like swapping out a fuse and like a cable or something. It's like, because engineering is a lot more theory now. Yeah, sorry for like going so much on about engineering, but like I feel like I need to clear up a lot of things for people about the,
for all the thousands of people that watch this podcast. I want to
oh man, I mean, you know, there's, the more that you kind of are aware of what professions are, the more that you get to appreciate it, but also you learn to know the limits of what they can do, you know.
Yeah.
So, which just helps like making decisions. You know,
yeah,
when you
and I would give a shout out to anybody who's trying to be an architect. Only be an architect if you're gonna kill it. If you're not gonna kill it, you're not gonna make it. In terms of just like, this is a career where we're not that necessary. You know, at the end of the day, if you want to build a house, you can look at a construction worker and be like, okay, here's the standard house, build it. When it comes to architecture, it's essentially our ability to use design as a tool to impact people's lives and to solve problems that some people might not know how to just by using tools. That's the guidelines behind it. That's what I would argue. I mean,
here's an interesting question.
One of my teachers might tell me, "Oh, it's a lot more than that." It is whatever you do with it.
All right, here's a question for you. Do you think that culture is essential for human survival? So culture meaning our traditions, right? Mm-hmm. Like spiritual beliefs, societal like norms and stuff like that. Culture. Do you think culture is essential for human survival?
100%. There is thousands of years worth of research, quote unquote, to back that up. I mean, you can see when cultures have good habits, when they have good values, good morals, that the people that come from those cultures succeed wherever they go. They can muster up the power, the knowledge, and be able to make something out of nothing. And there are cultures where they don't teach this. They have horrible values. They don't have any morals, or they don't care about the morals. And those cultures crumble, those societies crumble.
All right, so with that being said, what like you have let's say you have two alien civilizations. One alien civilization, like they're both the same age, I guess. So one civilization is super technologically advanced, right? The other civilization has a super rich culture, you know, like so many like cultural groups, like they're like fantastic art, music. They have like, you know, just really good like food and stuff, you know, very culturally rich. Which of those two civilizations, which one do you think is more successful, and which one do you want to actually live in? The one where that's super technologically advanced, but is like kind of lame, you know, like that's like their technology is the only thing, or the one that's a little bit behind, but they have a super rich culture?
I think the obvious answer is the cultural one. In terms of just, why would I want to live in a society where basic things like happiness and fun are valued less to efficiency? Right. Obviously, in reality, you're gonna have the best of both worlds if you can.
Yeah, like there's no, like our society is not strictly a we didn't spec into technology and science. We didn't
Well,
spec
even
into
that, even that. I
culture.
mean, efficiency can lead to happiness.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the people that aren't dying from polio. They're very happy.
I'm not dying from polio. That's a
I
plus.
am very happy. Yeah. And obviously at the end of the day, you got to count your lucky stars for literally everything. You got to be grateful for everything, but
So I kind of agree.
It's a cultural thing because look, and anybody who's a student, it's damn, I'm spending all my day doing this homework for this hopefully future job that I'm going to have. And the days where you have a family party or a friend's party and you're out there and you're just, you know what? I'm going to dance all night. I'm going to have fun. That's what the hard work is for. It's, hey, I want to have these moments and I want to value these moments.
Yeah.
And those moments are a lot more fun and a lot more meaningful than one night where I got a model done, before a review.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting question, like what's richer, technological progress or culture? At the end of the day, it's going to be like actual society is going to be a mix of both. And I think it's better like that because culture gives you reason to live, right? It gives you unique experiences. It gives you happiness. But technology makes it easier to live. So, look back 1,000 years, we kind of died of some pussy shit, like, oh man, I got the flu. Last week on Earth, here we go, let's do this.
It's like,
now we don't,
man.
and now we're able
Ryan
to
got the rhinovirus.
Do you say Ryan got the rhinovirus?
Yeah, he got the rhinovirus. Oh man.
Oh man, now he just has a big horn
down
on the front of his face. He's like, hey, he's huge.
You know what the rhinovirus is, right?
Yeah. You don't actually turn into a rhino.
But you know what the rhinovirus is?
I think it's like a type of flu.
It's a cold.
Yeah, like you got
it's just
it's
standard
the same
cold.
symptoms ish.
No, it's
the cold?
technical term for a cold. Yeah.
Oh.
It's called the rhinovirus.
Look, I'm no doctor. When people start throwing out medical terms, I kind of shut down.
Come on, bro, you got to know your basic medical terms.
I mean, like if someone said like, "Oh, I got the rhinovirus," I'd react the same exact way if they told me, "Oh, I got the cold," because it's like I kind of get the severity of it. I don't. It's like what's the technical term for shit? I can't even come up with a fake scenario because I don't know the technical name.
What's the technical term for the Spanish flu?
Influenza?
Yeah. Or no, it's H1N1, isn't it? I don't know. Actually, no, that one's confusing.
No, H1N1 it was swine flu.
Used the 3 different.
Today,
swine flu, that's what it was.
This year's brand of flu is, I think, H3N1. Yeah, it's like they come in brands, right? Or kind of like species, maybe. I'm hesitant to say that word, but basically, like, there's different types, and scientists have classified them. So it's like, oh, it's
strand. It would be a strand.
Strand. There's the word. Yeah.
Boom.
So like this strand actually has appeared before, and in the news, I saw like a lot of like, like lots of people are getting sick. It's the it's the world. It's like, no, it's not.
It's
if you looked at the last
parade.
time, yeah. If you looked at the last time that we had this strand, the sickness levels and the hospital admittance levels are like pretty much the same,
Bro, it's the human psychology, the human tendency to just. Actually, I wouldn't even call it the human tendency, but it's the media's tendency to just fucking overblow shit.
No, you'll notice, okay, every time that you see like the flu come up in the news cycle, look at what else is going on in the world, right? Most of the time, nothing of like huge absolute thing is going on at the same time.
Yeah, just like when what's that crazy thing that killed one person in the U.S. and everybody was
Ebola.
freaking out.
Yeah.
Ebola.
Well, that was
Ebola!
like
No, we're all gonna die.
Ebola is pretty bad, but the amount, like, they made it seem like, if you live in a city, you're just gonna get Ebola. You know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty like if it's one of those news topics that like once you kind of start to like notice it and notice like when certain topics come up, you'll realize like they bring out those topics because there's nothing else to talk about. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Granted, like once something does talk about it, like they're not just gonna abandon it. It's like, oh shit, we talked about the flu yesterday, how it was gonna kill everyone, but you know, today, the aliens invaded. You know, it's like we can't talk.
Yeah,
we can't just drop the flu story. Like we left it on a cliffhanger. Aliens,
obviously,
dude.
Ebola was a serious problem when it first started. It's just people figured it out. They're like, okay, it stopped.
The vast majority of people did not need to worry about it. Beyond like you know just cleanliness.
It literally could have been tucked under thousands of other more important things.
The worry
Nobody
was
would have
that
freaked out.
once it does jump, like it goes into a plane, then a lot of people would be screwed.
You know, something interesting about Ebola is that I learned is that when somebody gets it, they suddenly have an urge to go on a plane.
Is that from something? That's hilarious.
Yeah, Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal Buress. Oh man, we haven't.
They suddenly have this. They just can't stay. They just can't stick around. It gets you active.
Oh man, I feel like we haven't done a lot of Hannibal Buress references on this podcast.
If anybody wants to know our favorite type of humor, it's Hannibal Buress' stand-up.
It's
by far one of the most relatable comedians I can relate to.
Consistently, if I'm having a bad day, I'll watch some Hannibal Buress. Just go on one of his specials on Netflix, and then after I watch a Hannibal Buress special, for the next couple of days, if you talk to me, I'll have that kind of like tempo of voice, you know?
Hey man.
It's like
that's my cousin, man.
It's like, oh come on, man. You know, just like having that tempo, talking like that. It relaxes me, you know, because he seems like a pretty chill dude. He recently got arrested for a DUI, but that's you know, that doesn't degrade his work.
It is what it is.
But that's a totally Hannibal Buress way to go out, though.
Yeah.
DUI,
obviously.
ask an officer for an Uber. Hell yeah, Hannibal. Hell yeah. Don't you
yeah,
get that, kids.
Hey, can you get me an Uber, sir?
No, I cannot. You're under arrest.
You're under arrest.
Crazy things.
No.
I think the thing that I like the
me.
most about him though is crazy stories. Though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like I went to Canada. I went to Toronto. I was having a show there, and I got arrested. Or I got a ticket for jaywalking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jaywalking. Yeah. Out of all the crimes, sir, it's not even a real crime, dude. That's just like, oh, I was jaywalking. Hey, that guy's jaywalking. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You know, like. We're gonna move on from this now, you know. That's it, right? You just acknowledge that I jaywalked and I apologize. Like that's it. Hilarious.
You got any crazy stories? You work in a coffee shop. I feel like you encounter a lot of people nowadays.
Oh boy, just today was ridiculous. But really quick, what I wanted to ask you was go ahead and look up who the Jets owner is.
The Jets owner, like the New York Jets.
Yeah, just look up who is the Jets owner. This was so funny.
Jets owner. Tom Brady.
Come on. For people who know football, that is hilarious.
Shit, alright, you're gonna have to fill me in on the joke a little bit.
Paul,
I know that Tom
Paul
Brady
does not
is
watch
a
football.
famous football player.
Paul does not know who Tom Brady is,
nope,
surprisingly.
I do not follow ball sports.
Okay. The Jets and the Patriots are in the same division. Are in the same conference, in the same division. I actually couldn't tell you which division, but they play each other twice a year. They're very heated rivals, and the fact and the thing is that the Jets, I think Tom Brady's record against them is 10-1 whenever he's played them in his career. He's 10-1. So when people were looking up, like somebody had hacked the Google or algorithm or whatever, and whenever somebody looked up who's the Jets owner, they didn't actually get the real owner of the Jets.
Yeah.
They got Tom Brady, the guy who has been killing them for years, over a decade.
I'm reading a Boston Magazine article on it,
Yeah.
and So it was a glitch, and I think like those Google, I think they're called Google, what's it called? Like quick results or something like that. Like basically, like that just comes from like the algorithm kind of like picking like basically Tom Brady was tied to the phrase New York Jets. Yeah, owning.
Yeah.
Like the New York Jets, Tom Brady, and own, and like synonyms for that word came up frequently in in proximity to each other. So like Google was like, oh, okay, that happened. The actual owner that I just found out was Woody Johnson. So I thought it was serious for a second. I was like, Tom Brady he's a pretty successful guy. Did he retire? I guess he did. I guess he owns the New York Jets now.
No, he's playing in the Super Bowl this year again.
Damn, dude.
Look, people hate greatness for some reason. Guys,
talking about the Patriots.
First of all, to any of the Jets fans who are angry at us, I am a Bears fan. So we are owned by the Packers, year in and year out. We are owned by the Packers. I
as a tradition.
Admit to that. As is tradition. I mean, we lost our record against them. I think they're up like 2 or 3 games now in the historic record of the Bears versus the Packers.
Hey,
we had them. We had them with a solid margin, and obviously over like 2 decades of sucking, we lost it. But I forgot what I was gonna say. I totally forgot what we were talking about.
Sports. Yeah.
Sports. Oh yeah. So people hate.
You watched a sports ball game last night,
guys. It is incredible that a guy, Tom Brady, has been able to take a team. Well, I wouldn't say it's just him, but the Patriots have been able to be in the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl so many times in 10 years, and in 2 decades. They've been a dominant force for 2 decades. That's incredible. And that's me just admiring the fact that they have not lost their will and their focus for almost 20 years. And they are a dynasty because of it. It's motivational. It's inspiring. And people, obviously if you're a Jets fan, you fucking hate it. If you're a Jets fan, you're like, oh, I wish Tom Brady retired, or, like went to some of the psycho fans, I hope he dies tomorrow. It's like, chill out, guys. At the end of the day, it's a game. It's a game, guys. But hey, I look at Tom Brady, and he has killed the Bears whenever we play him.
I used to not have an opinion on Tom Brady, and now I do.
Tom Brady's awesome, bro. He's incredible.
Yeah, but I knew nothing about the guy. Now I feel like we're best buds.
Yeah, I would love to go grab a drink with Tom Brady. I would have water. I'm assuming he would have water as well.
Yeah,
he's a very healthy individual.
Season 1, episode 4, True Chucklers podcast. We're gonna get Tom Brady on here.
Yeah. The podcast that has like 8 viewers is gonna get Tom Brady.
8 viewers, 2 of them are mine.
6 of them were mine.
Oh, yep. That's it. We just listen to ourselves. But yeah.
But no, the crazy thing is that he's 40 or 41 now. I think he's 41.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing like a young dude, them young dudes, man.
Young dudes. Bringing that back that old
he sticks to such a strong regimen of working out and eating healthy that he's taking his body to the limits of
this is a sports podcast. This episode was a sports podcast.
Welcome to True Chucklers. This is a sports podcast.
That's it. Alright, but
that's it.
I asked you about your coffee madness. I feel like I haven't heard a couple of stories in a while.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly show you that thing because it was so fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I will share one story of today because there's some I could go on for hours upon hours. So we will quickly get into one coffee story. I work at a coffee shop that has a drive-through, and as you may expect, I mean it's not like most people care about their behavior in a drive-through, but a conscientious person, you can tell. They come to the drive-thru and they're like, you know what, I'm talking to a person.
Yeah, I hope that everyone does that
person,
to the service industry.
That person deserves, the minimal amount of respect that everybody deserves in a society. It's, hey, how you doing? I'd like to get this coffee, and that's it. Thank you.
Yep.
And you go and get it paid, and you're like, oh, thank you so much. And I'll see you around. There's this one lady, man. Out of many ladies that are crazy and dudes, the dudes are psychotic as well. But there's this one lady that comes in pretty much every day. She gets a macchiato with caramel, extra caramel, and all these other ridiculous. But it's all about the extra caramel for this lady.
It's a good shit.
The cup is, if you have, let's say, 20 ounces, a 20-ounce cup, it is at least 10 ounces of caramel.
Oh shit! All right, there we go.
And I'm talking about caramel drizzle. I'm not talking about like a syrup that tastes like caramel. She wants caramel drizzle, 10 ounces of it basically.
I like a tall of caramel. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, can I have caramel? You should just say, can I have a 20-ounce caramel drizzle with a little bit of coffee in it and milk? Because
Nice.
that's what you're getting.
Yeah. What?
That's the joke that we make.
Why do we?
No, but
why
it's
do you
not
order
just
that?
that. It's not just
What's
that.
the point
It's
of
not just
that
that. It's the audacity of her paying for it and saying every time, "Oh, let me taste it," and then we're like, we always make it the same way. We know how much you want, and she always ups the ante. She's always like, I think this needs more." We're like, oh my god! Like,
Needs
don't get me
more.
wrong. You don't. It's I shouldn't say the audacity. Like, everybody has the right to taste their drink and be like, okay, this doesn't taste right. But we when it comes to something like that, like, there's no code for it. It's just, we're just trying to figure out what you like, and we're not
Yeah.
going to get it right every time. But to
I
the
think
people
if
who are,
you. Oh.
I hate the people that are always like, I want a triple shot espresso, whatever, with caramel, whatever. Make sure there's 3 shots in it. I swear I never get 3. It's like, lady,
It's like,
we're
yo,
giving
where's
you
the
3
hate
shots
coming
every
from?
time. We're giving you 3 shots every time.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so if you order
mistakes happen.
custom
Mistakes
items that are, either items off the menu, but you just add things to it, do like modifications to it, whatever you want, or if you order things that are just straight up not on the menu,
Yeah.
I think you need to give the people making that custom order of food on demand a little bit of slack. Like, come on. Like,
I mean, yeah,
okay,
it's
look,
like they're expecting us to be mind readers.
yeah, it's like, okay, so the cook, the coffee, like, barista, like, no matter what type of food or beverage it is, when you walk in there and you're spouting like some crazy ass like Harry Potter potion shit, give them a little bit of slack, because they're there, like, just making the same things, like, they got a rhythm down, and then all of a sudden you're disrupting that rhythm, so
Yeah, there's a code to everything. There's a certain amount of pumps to something. There's a certain amount of shots that we put in. There's a certain amount of milk that we put in, and it's okay. I want extra foam. I want 2 extra shots. I want extra caramel. I want I want light ice. And like, someone gets mad because, oh, you didn't put in enough ice.
yeah,
Like, look, I'm okay with somebody telling me, oh, like, there's not enough ice in here.
Yeah.
If they're nice about it, if they're like, just like, you know what, could I just get a little bit more, caramel drizzle, or a little bit more ice in here, just obviously, like, this, just maybe like 3 or 4 more ice cubes in, I think I should be good.
Yeah.
Those are the people that I genuinely appreciate for obvious reasons.
yeah. Like, if you're not a dick, if you're not a jerk about it.
But I love people who fly into the drive-thru and they're like, yeah, give me a mocha, and then they just drive off and go straight to the window. It's like, what size? And did you
There's
want the
multiple
regular
flavors.
milk? That stuff?
Yeah.
Like,
I like
we're
food.
just gonna give you.
All right.
Yeah, it's like, can I have a a sandwich and a mocha, and then they drive off. They don't say, like, anything else. They don't, like, they just don't listen to you.
Damn.
When you don't, communication is a 2-way road. When you don't bother to keep that road flowing, and say, hey, I would like a medium mocha. I prefer it with soy, no whip. If you don't say those things and we give you what you want and you get mad about it, we're not going to do a good job remaking it to you, because it's It is what it is. It's okay. Now you've pissed us off because you're assuming that we purposely made it bad for you when we didn't. We're just trying to do our jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're literally there to make you coffee. That's it. And look, people make mistakes. Sometimes we forget things. That's fine. Like, I don't always get mad whenever somebody calls us out. It's like, oh, you forgot to put lemonade in it. Like, if they're nice about it, I'm like super thankful. I'm like, oh yeah, no worries. Like, you know, I'll remake it for you. You can actually keep that one if you want it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
again, like,
I just appreciate you not freaking out.
I've never worked in the food service industry, but I appreciate the fact that I'm asking for food on demand. You know, it might take a while. They're also like, they probably don't want to be there. So it's like, look, we just want to. I just want to get out of here, same as you.
And I love it whenever like the customer I'm working with is taking forever to pay, asks us to redo 2 drinks, and then we have like an 8-minute wait, and then the person behind us is like, "Wow, you guys are sure taking a long time." You know, like why is the wait so long? I'm like, because the person in front, like, this has nothing to do with us.
Yeah, just appreciate if you interact with people. Just appreciate that they're also people too. You know?
Yeah, it's a conscious effort from everybody to just be like, hey, sure, you don't need to respect the person. That's fine. Respect is earned. Yeah. But give the decency. Be decent to people and be like, hey, you have literally done nothing bad to me. Mm-hmm. I've literally done nothing bad to you.
Yeah.
We don't have to see each other ever again. But just, hey, can I get a nice thick burrito with some rice and beans, and that's it.
To some people that say like, oh, you have to earn respect. It's like, yeah, you have to earn respect, but that means that you have to earn respect beyond the minimum. You know, you shouldn't be a dick to just everyone because like, oh, you gotta earn my respect. Like, no, I don't want to earn your respect if you treat me like trash.
As a parent or like a good figure would tell you is, hey, be nice to people. If they're dicks to you, just either be quiet or just move along, be like whatever.
That's right.
It is what it is. Yeah, the food service industry, for the people who aren't crabby every day and hate their job, it's a good lesson in patience and really trying to understand where the person's coming from, and dealing with frustration. I mean, holy crap! Like the amount of times where I'm like, Jesus, I'm gonna get my head snapped from all these customers because we're on an 8-minute wait, and I'm gonna have to sit there. I'm gonna have to smile and just take it. You just learn. You get a nice thick skin.
Yeah,
and I think that's right. Speaking of thick skin, Paul, how many days left until Bobby Shmurda gets out of jail?
2,185 days.
All right. And I think we already went through our sponsor, but we'd like to thank our sponsor one more time. Thank you to. All right. Thank you to that sponsor. And you know what? It's been a minute and 18.
Yeah, a minute and 18 seconds this podcast was.
This has been our longest podcast. I hope for the people who have stayed on this podcast that this has been a memorable one. I think this is one of the first ones where we've been pretty comfortable.
Yeah, like we're getting into the group. This is season 1, episode 3. I'm digging it.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
So. I'm about to go tell my mom to listen to this because I'm proud of it now. I'm like, this is good.
So yeah,
we did something.
So I hope that if you are listening to this, you continue listening to our podcast. If you have not listened to the previous podcasts, I recommend doing that. These are all being posted to our YouTube channel, so just like click those links, subscribe to us, do whatever. We also have a website. Chucklers.
Look, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, if you like what we're doing, it motivates us to do it more and better. When we get those comments, when we get those likes, especially when someone subscribes to us, it is like, wow, we're doing something.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, people like us, or people at least enjoy the conversation.
Yeah. Like we're making content, like to have fun and to kind of just like share, So we love it when people say like, oh, I actually listened to the podcast, or like, hey,
if you like it, you hit the like button.
Yeah.
If you want to comment about something, comment about it. We can definitely handle the load of one comment.
Yeah. Oh man, we're gonna have to
and responding to it.
We're gonna have to dedicate servers to the amount of email that we get.
And
yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, you can find us on the Tree Chucklers website, which is linked in the description. It's a very long URL right now, so just go ahead and click on that link.
Mm-hmm.
We have blogs. We'll be doing videos and photography, and
just
eventually maybe
content.
some products. Just in general, just content. It is what it is. We make things here and there whenever we have the time, and we like to think that they're fun.
Yeah.
That they're interesting.
So you can expect to see some content from other people in Tree Chucklers maybe soon.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that. It's not just gonna be me and Omar just talking into your headset.
We're hoping to get Katie and Maddie and Paige, Peter.
Yeah. There's
Jake,
definitely a rogues
Jared.
gallery, so we're gonna try to get them on to content for you guys. So we'll see where it goes.
All right,
but
guys.
I think that's basically it.
Once again, we appreciate that you guys are here at the end of the podcast, and we will see you at the next one. All right, guys?
All right.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.